All right. Welcome to episode 7 of Before the Pros. Today we're joined by a UNC fencer and Team Canada fencer, as well as an entrepreneur with his new Chapel Hill company, Speedi. So Eli Lippman. Eli, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
This is awesome, man. I'm excited to have you. I want to get into your success as a fencer with, being an ACC champion and representing Team Canada. But first, I want to talk about your new company, Speedi. So tell me a little bit about that company, how it got started in October of 2023.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess we'll start at the beginning. But my friend and I I have a friend on the fencing team, Casper. We started Speedi. It's like a 15-minute delivery service catered towards like UNC students. We deliver on and off campus. It's pretty much it's kind of like GoPuff, but the idea came around in like January last year.
Yeah.
And Casper and I just was working on it throughout the year, and in around October we finally launched. But there was definitely a lot of like pre-work that went into it. We got an app coded for it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like one of our big differentiating factors compared to like another service. Mm-hmm. And I guess like the reason why we started it was kind of just like freshman year. I was in Carmichael my freshman year.
Okay, but yeah. So was I, yeah.
Nice, yeah. You can't really beat it. It's a good location.
It's a little small, but it's like the location is prime. Yeah.
And Casper was in Hojo. Okay. So I happened to be at Hojo quite a bit. We were just like chilling, and we kind of just encountered like the problem, the pain point of just like South Campus is so far. It's like pretty deep, and stuff closes pretty early. And GoPuff, I guess, was the other alternative that we use, and we encountered like hour delivery times, hour and a half. So that when we like got the idea, we just was like, damn, that would be a perfect fit here at UNC.
Yeah. And so you were bothered by that delivery time and were like, hey, we can do this better. Like, we're going to cut it. And you guys do what, like 15-minute delivery time now, right?
Yeah, 15 minutes. We use electric bikes.
Okay.
So that's like how we do it. And we have like our HQ, I guess, our warehouse. It's on Franklin Street.
Okay, nice.
So it's pretty central, and that allows us to be able to hit everywhere within 15 minutes. But yeah, I was actually talking with my brother about it, and he goes to school in California. Uh-huh. And there's a couple other services like similar, and pretty much here there was like nothing, and kind of was just like needed to fill like the gap.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a great idea, and it's cool that you guys are getting it off the ground. It's awesome. So, but I mean, there's other delivery services that come to my mind, like a DoorDash or an Uber Eats, because I know you guys do food as well as other products. Mm-hmm. So how do you guys compete with those bigger companies?
Yeah. So I guess the biggest difference between like us and some other like DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff is we keep all of our inventory like in-house. Okay. I guess similar to what GoPuff does, but since like we're on Franklin Street, everything's just like in-house. Yeah. We through like the Speedi LLC, like we pretty much connected with wholesale like distributors, and that's how we get most of our products. So we just buy bulk. We have shelving, so we just like stock it, keep track of the inventory, and it's all in-house. So that's like the biggest thing. We don't have to rely on like someone else. So that's like how we ensure our 15-minute delivery. And then the other thing that it's the way we modeled it was, I guess, from what we would want it to be in theory, because I guess at like freshman year, we were the user, or like we were who we're trying to fix the problem for. Yeah. And
you're the customer.
Yeah, the customer. Yeah. And we have like a $199 flat rate delivery. Mm-hmm. So no matter how big your order is or how small it is, it's just $199. Yeah. And that's pretty much no minimum order as well. So like we've had some people like order like those Welch like fruit snacks. Yeah. We sell them for 49 cents. Someone's bought one of them, paid the $199. She just wanted
just one Welch.
Just wanted some Welches. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Hey,
I'm not complaining.
It's midnight and you need some fruit snacks. So I get it. Yeah,
I've been there before.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't want to run to the store. I'll have somebody bring it to me in 10, 15 minutes.
Nice. So. Yeah, that was like the big thing. It was like for $199, you could have it in your hand. Like we were thinking, like Casper and I, throughout the whole time, like what that number should be like. we're thinking could be higher. Like I know like GoPuff has minimum order, like they have a minimum order, and they also like their delivery fee is like pretty expensive, and $1.99 was like a nice like rate that we kind of decided to like go with. And I don't know, like you want a can of Coke for like 99 cents, you paid like $1.99, you could get it. It's like, we thought it was worth it.
No, it is smart. And especially like given inflation and everything, $1.99 for delivery fee that's really good. So I'd pay that. I tried to use it over break actually, and I was like, I realized y'all were gone. And I was like,
we didn't have enough staff.
No, it makes sense. But I'll be using it when you guys come back on. I'm excited for it.
I got you with a custom code. Before the pros code.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. That's hype. So you guys do wholesale, so that makes a lot of sense, because in my mind I was like, no way Eli's running to Target buying whatever I want and then driving. So that makes sense. And then being on Franklin, you can hit everybody on campus, and then everybody off campus, right?
Yeah,
so you can go both ways. Yeah. So how far does that extend off campus?
So right now, or I'd say like our radius is roughly 2 miles.
Okay.
Right now, the way that we had it coded into the app, it's through zip codes. Okay. And it just happens like the 27516 or whatever zip code we're in now. It's like the biggest zip code in North Carolina. So
really,
it's like there's 3 zip codes that we allowed it to orders to get like come in from, but there are sometimes we get like orders from outside that zone, but we've been able to like deal with it. We have people working on it right now to just like make it a clear 2 mile radius cutoff. But we deliver on and off campus. Like we ordered to like Rams Village all the way to Union. We've actually gone past Union, like Mill Creek, I think. Mill Streamer. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a little past us even. Yeah. Yeah, that's up in those apartments. Yeah,
I delivered a couple to your neighbors actually.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, the area looks familiar when I was coming by.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I saw you one night. I saw the bike and then the Speedi. You guys got like a cooler in the back or something.
Like a big orange bag. Yeah,
that's awesome. I know you're running this company as well as being a student athlete, and we talk about like being a student athlete is a full-time job. So you're adding literally another full-time job on top of it. Yeah. So how are you able to manage both the lives that you're living?
It's definitely like a lot more on the plate. Like last semester was definitely like a learning experience, kind of like trying to balance everything. And it's more just like prioritizing what needs to get done and like when you have free time doing stuff. So like for example, when I was in the warehouse, like waiting for orders to come in, and like if I had 10-15 minutes like downtime, I'd be writing my like forum post or an essay or something. So just like making the most of the time you have. Yeah. I also was like, we're open from 6:30 to 2 a.m. So I was up until like probably like 3 most days. So I had time like late at night sometimes and just did work when I had to. But yeah, the biggest thing was like my body felt like a little bit run down with the lack of sleep. Yeah. So it's just like taking that nap if I could in the day. Like if there's an hour, like take that nap.
No, that's smart. You'd have to if you're so behind on sleep, staying up till 3. That's pretty late.
It definitely was towards the end a little bit of burnout, but I don't know. Like we Casper and I definitely like we do a good job of kind of like allocating stuff to do for Speedi, and he
splitting like responsibilities and everything.
Like for example, he Casper runs like a wholesale distribution company. Okay, really? Back home in Jersey, so that's why like he's like the perfect like guy to start with. So like all the inventory management and stuff is it's like definitely more his domain. Yeah.
Because he's like done it before.
Yeah. And that definitely like helps, because I know like that takes a lot of time, and it's just you got to be careful. And recently we also onboarded Chris. Okay. He's on the wrestling team.
Oh, nice.
And he's been helping us a lot. So like as we were figuring things out, I guess we kind of just got better at that, like the daily like Speedi fencing, balancing it, and just school. There was a couple of times where school was like took the back seat a bit, but then like when the exam comes, you got to like lock in a little bit. So it's just prioritizing. That was the biggest thing.
I'm not gonna support school taking the backseat, but it does happen. There's some times where it's like, okay, like I need to focus more on my sport or like the company that I'm working at. For me, it's the podcast. Like I do need a little less time on school, because my coach was always like, if you stay up till midnight and you're getting 90%, or you're staying up till 2 a.m. to get that 100%, it's you go to sleep, get those extra 2 hours. So that sometimes you have to prioritize like yourself. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And I understand, like you said, you onboarded Chris, but you're also hiring a bunch of students here at UNC. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of great people in different types of schools here. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. I guess like Chris was like onboarding. He onboarded like onto the Speedi team to kind of like be like an executive role and help out. He has like a lot to offer. He's like good at accounting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we've definitely been trying to tap into like the student body and student population. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of smart kids at UNC.
For sure.
Yeah, like we've been trying to get coders, like software developers, even just like visual design, graphic design, mm-hmm. Even drivers, like a couple kids that we just met through friends of a friends are like working shifts for us driving and like doing well and stuff. So definitely we're trying to like utilize the student population as much as possible.
Yeah, that's cool. Because you mentioned there's a bunch of smart kids here, and that's cool that they're helping you with the app, because the app looks great, man. It really does.
Appreciate it, bro.
It's simple to use, and I really like it. So that's are they, you have the coders working on that what were you, the radius that you were talking about, the delivery radius and everything? So you're hiring from the comp sci major, right? Is that how that's working?
Yeah. So the original app was actually coded. We outsourced it to some people in India.
Okay.
So I guess like just to rewind a bit, like in January is when the idea started, but then we actually didn't like get into production until like a lot of months after. And in that process, it was just like ironing out like our like MVP, like what we wanted our business to look like, operations, but also like getting this app ready, because it was like nothing to start with. So like we were reaching out to kids here through the comp sci department, like alumni, like mutual friends, but we ended up going with someone based out of India through a mutual friend out in New York. That we met, and we just met him randomly like one night, and just happened to like that topic got brought up, and here we are. So it was kind of cool the way that worked out. Pros and cons to that, just because like India is pretty far, time difference, communication. So we're trying to like build a more in-house team here, and we have a close friend. He's a senior here in the comp sci department, Josh. He's kind of taking like lead in terms of the tech stuff on our side, just because Casper and I we're not really like comp sci people.
No, that's a whole different world.
It's crazy.
I'm not even going to try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about with that. So that's cool. And you guys have done a lot of promotion on campus. That's been one of the coolest things, I think, the promotion. So tell me about like the ideas for that and what you've been doing.
That's just like brainstorming. Like we just sit down and think of like cool like promotional ideas. Just like we take ideas from everyone, and we kind of just have like a marketing strategy plan with like steps, and we just try to stick to it. A big thing that we learned, I guess, was how like you need to be, or customers need to be like exposed to the brand multiple times before they actually like make the purchase or like download the app, or like a lot of people are not just going to download the app if you like, hey, download this app, or like from one poster. So it was like a big goal of ours was like to maximize how many different places people would see it. So in our case, we did like a pretty big sticker. We did a lot of stickers, like posters, signs. We try to hang up some banners at like the frat houses. We had a banner on our Franklin Street place for a bit.
It's above the Hibachi, right?
Exactly. It's pretty. We just put it up there. We actually got in trouble for it. We had to take it down.
Really? Why couldn't you have it?
Our landlord just said it didn't look that clean, but we'll adjust and make it look better. Get it back up there. We also the stickers too. We recently got an email as well to stop doing those. Really? But
I thought it was cool because you see them everywhere on campus. So.
It definitely was that was like a big one. People were saying like, I've seen that sticker everywhere. Like something I noticed is like when I was doing deliveries, people would see like the logo on the back, like that orange bag, and be like, "Hey, like, what is that? I've seen these stickers in my class or like on my clock or something."
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying I put them there, but they got there somehow. You know?
Yeah, somebody put them there.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's really smart because that's just a way to like put your brand out there, and that's obviously a big thing with growing and starting a new company.
Mm-hmm.
So like obviously you've only been doing this since October, so it was about 2 months before winter break, and then you're going to start it back up now for the spring semester. So what do you see going forward? What are your plans for the company?
I guess like the goals is like obviously just like grow volume of orders, but also kind of just like get everything operations wise like down pat, like ironed out, smooth as much as it can be. And right now that means just like onboarding some employees, trying to like let us like have more time outside of working, like being in the office every day, working on some of the marketing stuff or getting new items, talking to people for collaborations, that type of stuff. So like that's currently what we're doing. We have a couple of like comp sci, like some bugs that are getting fixed right now. And I guess something that we're working on is we're trying to get alcohol. So we're working on our ABC license.
Oh dang, is that so? Okay, I didn't know that you could have alcohol delivered. That's pretty cool. How is that coming along? What's the process with that?
A little bit of a slow process, just because there's a little bit of restructuring on the ownership that we got to do, just because I'm not 21 yet.
Yeah.
But
you're used to that 18-year-old in Canada, right?
19 in Canada.
19 in Canada. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, not 21 here. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It's more just we're just trying to like. There's some zoning stuff too. Approval from landlords is another one. I'm sure there'll be more stuff that comes along throughout this process, but getting alcohol I think would just be a game changer. Yeah. Like you could buy a single beer or like a 3, 4, 5. Like it doesn't like you don't have to buy a case. You know, that's like kind of our plan. So it's like you want to like I don't know Corona. We'll put limes in there too. Like we're pretty much just trying to like cater to the college demographic as much as possible. Like we sell board kits.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so we're more just cool. We're trying to give like the college students what they want.
Yeah, no, which is perfect. I mean, and being open from you said 6 to 2 or 2:30, that's the perfect time because I feel like I'll be on Franklin like randomly late at night, and I feel like everything's closed. Like I mean, you have like Salt Dogs, like New York Pizza open late, but it's like they all shut down, and then it's like the town is just like dead. So it's smart that y'all are open that late, catering towards college students who are either like out late at night like partying or like up late at night grinding, you know, because there's both sides of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so alcohol would be smart if it's like 1 and you need a beer and everything's closed, just order it on Speedi.
15 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a great idea, man. I want to move into a little bit now on your athletic side. So you know, you represented Team Canada in 2020 at the Pan Am Championships. So what was that experience like for you, and how was it different than like competing collegiately?
I feel like cadet, that was my cadet year, 17. Definitely is like a little bit different than college, more individual, I would say. I remember when I made team that year, it was like, that was my goal. That was the first time I made team. So I was, that was like my goal for that season. I was like, the way it works, I don't know if it's the same for other sports, but you pretty much like compete at designated tournaments throughout the year. And then based on how you do, you get points. Okay. And it's like accumulated. So, I did relatively like well. I was consistent through that whole season, made the top 3, which means I got selected to go to Worlds. And Pan Am's was the tournament right before Worlds. Okay. It was in El Salvador. So it was like awesome getting to go there. It was like a big dream of mine to like represent Canada. Like when I was younger, I was like, I saw like the Olympics and just like athletes like wearing their country's like track jacket. Yeah. Like I don't know why, but that image was like really like I wanted that track jacket bad, and like I wanted to just like represent Canada. It felt like that's like my country. I don't know. It was like you
get a lot of pride from that.
Yeah, it definitely was like a big, like, I guess like a patriotic thing as well. But So at Pan Am's, that was pretty cool experience. Like it was probably one of my first tournaments where there was like some cultural aspect in it, where like the local like people, they put like they had like a little halftime show kind of, and it was just cool. And my dad was there with me. It was hot there, but
El Salvador, yeah,
it was really warm.
And then when you're full, like, I bet you were inside though for fencing, right? Yeah, I was gonna say if you had to wear all that outside.
That gear it's kind of heavy. I'm pretty sure it's like there's Kevlar woven into it just for safety, I guess. But it's kind of hot for sure.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, that makes sense that there's Kevlar though. You don't want to get cut or anything because you don't have any injuries associated with the sword, right?
You can get like small little like cuts or scrapes, but like there have been deaths in fencing.
Really?
But it's usually like when the blade breaks and becomes jagged. Most of them honestly happen like they slip underneath the bib here in the throat, or like someone was using like a rusty like mask one time, went through the mask, hit through their eye, and they're just done. But it's more like I feel like it's pretty safe. Like this is kind of like it's the ones you hear about. It's not really like a common occurrence. Like I haven't. The worst injury I've had is just like maybe a small cut here from just like I'm attacking him, he's attacking me. Yeah, but it is warm. But yeah, I guess back to like the El Salvador, that was like a fun tournament. It was I remember like USA's like, since it's Pan Am, I guess it's North and South America. And like USA was our biggest rivals in a way, and they're especially at that level or at that age like pretty high level, so they were like our target, like our big targets. And I competed against two of them, I think. I had a teammate there take out the other two. So then we both lost in the semis. I got bronze, he got bronze. Some kid from I think Costa Rica or Mexico won. But it still was like a fun experience.
That's awesome. And representing your country. I talked with Allie, sent one on the soccer team the other day. She represents US for the U20 team, and she was talking about how representing your country is just a whole different level than even your school. It just brings you a lot of pride. So that's really cool that you feel the same way. So that's always a great experience competing internationally. That's awesome. I want to move to here at UNC when you won the ACC Championship in 2020. How was that for you?
It was cool. I like definitely went into it not really expecting much. Like I knew I was good. It was my freshman year, so I definitely came into here with a little bit of like a chip on my shoulder, like underdog mentality. Coming from Canada, I didn't have the best like US rating. I actually think I had the lowest rating on my team.
Really? So they have different ratings for different countries, is that?
Yeah. Most Canadians actually should have like a pretty decent rating. It's just that I competed more internationally than domestically North America, like US tournaments. Which is honestly my bad. Like my younger brother's fencing right now. He's 15 and he's doing it the way you should be doing it, like going to all of those tournaments, getting his points and ratings up.
That's smart.
But I guess I had that chip on my shoulder and was fencing well that whole season, qualified for postseason. And I guess like ACCs, it was the way I was like explained, the way like that tournament was like explained to me was it doesn't matter too much the individual day, it's more the team day. I don't know, I don't really like losing, so I don't know, I just like went into that calm. I remember I dropped a match to my teammate Reza and just like took each match at like one at a time and racked up wins. The way that tournament is, it's like I believe it's like 15 or 16 individual like pool matches. They're like just the 5 touches. And then from there, based on your wins and losses, they take the top 4 and they put you into a bracket that's like to 15, like a direct elimination match. So I guess I was ranked second after that. And the other, it was two Notre Dame people and some kid from Boston College. And it was Notre Dame. They're like the Louisiana or Alabama of like fencing. They're like 3-time reigning national champions. So they're like nice. And I was about to go there as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just channeled that like, okay, well, the coach is there. I'm just gonna try to like do my best and come at him with like, I definitely had some like extra motivation, and it was a like good day, and then ended up winning. But it was it's like something that I wasn't expecting, but that's kind of just like what happens.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. And what made you choose UNC over Notre Dame then? What was that? What was the difference there?
I guess a couple of reasons. Like I like UNC more as a school, like sports culture wise. Also like geographic location. I don't know, coming from Vancouver, I like nature. I like camping, skiing, all that type of stuff. The ocean's not too far. The mountains are not too far. It's like 2 hours each way.
Yeah. It's perfect in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. And UNC blue was honestly like I really like that, the colors and stuff. Notre Dame was a great school, and they're really good at fencing, but I just thought at the end, like UNC is probably the better fit.
Yeah. And it's worked out for you. Great. So
I like it here. North Carolina is a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, it is. It's a good spot to be for sure. But you talked about, competing. Fencing is an individual sport, but you compete as a team. And that's the same way for swimming. It's like you want to do well for yourself, but you get pushed further to do well for your team. So how does that team factor help push you even more to succeed?
Yeah. That was definitely something kind of new for me coming here, where it's like the support from like your college teammates and everything is different. It's more energy, I'd say, compared to like competing for your Canada or just like individually. I'd say like even a little more rowdy, even like more energy in the stands. I like the support from like when my boys are like cheering me on. It's like, I don't know, it's a good feeling. It's definitely like different, and I think it's like interesting because like some people react to it better than others, and like you can use the support to your advantage, especially like if you can see or read the body language of like your opponent. You can see them kind of like getting a little like shy or like kind of
timid almost.
You can get a little more hype with your boys and like kind of try to like play mind games with them, or at least that's like some stuff I've done. But yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, it's different because the team can either put pressure on you for some people or like help you go even faster or compete even better. So that's cool.
True. It is a double-edged sword though. There 100% has been times where like it's like a ninth leg, tied 4-4, need to win this to win for the school.
Yeah.
And it's like I've been on both ends. I've been in the times where I win and I'm like hype, and I've also lost those matches too. So it is definitely like more pressure, and you just you got to deal with it, win or loss, and kind of just take it as it goes.
Yeah, there are times where you have to deal with that pressure of being put in, like you have to win this for your team. But I mean, you've had that experience before, obviously winning ACC Champion, and so you have that kind of championship mindset. So how does that mindset help play a role with your company, Speedi?
I guess it's I don't know like really if it's I can like pinpoint one thing, but probably just like consistency, whether it's like going to practice every day, even on those days you're not trying to go to practice. Like for Speedi, it's like doing something to get closer to the end game step, like just one step a day.
Yeah.
Taking off one little thing off like the to-do list, and just like always going in that direction of getting better, like small steps. My mom is always like, she showed me that it's like some photo of like a ladder that has like the steps are like super far, and like the ones where they're smaller, and it's like if small steps will get you there, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mom sent me that. I liked it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if it's anything in particular, but it's definitely just like a consistency, like
that discipline kind of, because you do have to get better just a little bit each day, and that's you learn that from your sport, so you're utilizing that with your company. Yeah. And is there anything that like you've seen like dealing with teammates that you've had to deal with Speedi, like dealing with employees or dealing with customers? Have you learned anything from working with your team on that?
I guess like overall communication, probably just subtle like hints, like you can see your teammates a little bit like down, give them that energy, to that confidence, get it up again. Just like being aware of those little things. When I'm delivering, like I don't know if it's similarities all, but like when I'm delivering orders, just trying to be like personable. How are you doing? Ask them some questions. I don't know how much like carryover, but I just like overall communication, I'd say, and like reading the subtle cues.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot is put on like team culture, like from a sports perspective. Like we've done a lot of work on our team with our team culture and the time that I've been here. Developing a company culture is a big thing. So have you been able to do that with Speedi?
Definitely. Yeah. That's definitely somewhere where there's a lot of carryover. Like, I'm sure most teams at UNC kind of like try to like breed that culture early on, but we do like the team bonding trips for Speedi. Not like having the new people, the new drivers, and like we have some new like packers start to work. It's like definitely you being, or like me and Casper and Chris being like a good role model to start. Like you can't expect your employees or like people that work for you to like do something if you're not doing it yourself. So it's like setting a good example. Like having a good work environment is pretty important. Like you want to be happy going to work. Like Casper, Chris, and I, we always end the night with like we dap each other up, even if we're all tired and stuff. Dap each other up. See you tomorrow. Like always, just try to keep like, I don't know, spirits relatively high, just because it's a everyday thing, like working. So that's definitely like a big one.
Yeah, no, that is important. And you say that like you don't want to ask somebody to do something that you're not willing to do yourself, and you have been willing to do a bunch. So what all have you done? I mean, I know you said you've taken deliveries and stuff, but you're obviously from a founder's perspective. That's pretty cool to see. Yeah,
like we did like every step from start to like finish, and like everything in between. And I feel like as it being your own company, you kind of have to like just to know the ins and outs, all of the little nuances and like small things. We picked like just from kind of like going into it and like starting it, we learned so many like little tricks and little things that we had to do just to like make business run smooth. Like for me, social media was a big one as well.
Okay.
Like just doing the Instagram, TikTok, did a little bit of LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the most technical person. Like social media, making those posts and stuff was a little bit tougher. Just like a learning experience. The TikToks was pretty foreign to me.
Yeah.
We had someone come and help with that.
Yeah, but that's when you can tap into your resources here.
Definitely.
Like there's definitely a bunch of young students here that work with social media. So that's
and the media journalism.
Yeah, media journalism. Yeah, I'm in the ad PR. I'm in media school, but I'm ad PR. So
nice.
The journalism majors I find tend to do a little bit better with social media. So I because I'm not very good at social media at all. But it is cool to have that school and people who are good at it. Yeah,
for sure. There's a lot of pros, like really good people. It's sometimes it's hard to find them just because they have like other opportunities and jobs as well. That was like something that we thought we had some nice prospects, like good qualified, good resume, and they're just busy, and that's fair, you know.
Yeah,
just on to the next.
They're already doing something else. Yeah, because a lot of people like yourself like are doing other things outside of just going to school here. So no, that's true.
Yeah, I think another thing that I thought was like pretty important was like I think me personally, I've done like 600, 650 deliveries.
Dang. Yeah.
So like I got my reps in, and I just like bike paths and routes. Also just like the personal connection with customers. Like there's a couple people that have ordered a few times, and if I'm like their driver a couple times, it's like the small like, hey, how are you? Like, or how did you hear about Speedi?
Yeah.
It just helps us collect information, and like if someone's consistently placing orders, gifting them a hoodie or like giving them some stickers or a free something is like a good way to kind of get that like customer relationship, like, and like kind of just like
boost the company. Yeah, and that goes back to like how people receive your company. And that's like, they're going to keep coming back to you then when you do that. But I'm going to switch gears again back to last year with your fencing at NCAAs. The DTH actually had a pretty good article about that, where you admitted like you were a little too stressed out, and that wasn't who you were when you were fencing. So how does being who you are when you're fencing help you compete better?
Yeah. Like I'd say everyone has their unique style when they're fencing. I'm sure I'm not really sure. It might be the same for swimming. But like, yeah, it's a physical thing. Tall people will leverage their height more. Fast people will like use their speed. But it's like, personally, I guess if I were to describe my style, it's like counter-offensive, where I like to apply pressure and wait for or not like wait, but like make people come at me.
Okay.
And then take my defense and get them good, I guess. And sometimes, depending on like if they're not playing into my game, I'm able to like go on the offensive more. And it's a big feeling thing. Like I think it's pretty common in most sports, like that flow state.
Yeah.
Like getting into that like kind of that state where you're not really thinking exactly what you're gonna do, but you've trained, you put in that work, and it kind of just happens. And you see something small, like whether it's like a little action that my opponent does, and you're like, okay, I think it might work if I do this. And then like second later, you're just doing it and it works. So like getting into that state is like the ideal goal in a way. I guess at NCAAs last year, and I never really got that ball rolling. And so it was a pretty tough tournament. And I feel like I definitely wasn't like fully fencing myself. Like I also like my shoulder, like I like to be calm and like a little bit like playful, like just like
joking around a little bit, or
a little bit of joking around, but like the actual style itself, playful, where it's like I'm just gonna like do some preparation, see what you do, like take in that data and try to like play off of that. And it wasn't really flowing too well that day. And I think if I were to like pinpoint the reason why, it definitely was like the atmosphere of the tournament. Definitely like got to me.
Were you stressed from the atmosphere, or what? How did that? Because you've been in like high pressure atmospheres before. So what was different about NCAAs versus where else you've competed?
I think I remember like leading into it. I definitely was like freshman year I didn't qualify for NCAAs. I did bad at regionals, and that kind of, I guess, had another chip on my shoulder for sophomore year. I like to channel that underdog like energy, but I did well like going into regionals, qualified, and I guess it was like, okay, I finally made it to the national championship. Like I'm kind of like, I'm ready, let's do this. It's like the rest of like the 24 fencers are like really, really good as well. Like let's like do this. And I guess I just I don't know, I cracked under the pressure. I don't really know. Definitely like I noticed I lost a lot of matches in that one, like 4-4, like one next touch wins. And I don't know like exactly if it was just like, I think like a little bit too serious. I was taking myself too seriously, and that reflected like poorly on my like performance. And it kind of just goes down to like tightness and like more not being like calm.
Not being in that flow state that you talked about.
I guess
for me, that's like whenever I'm thinking too much about my sport, like I would have races my freshman year that I wouldn't swim too well, and I would come back and I would tell my coach about every 25, basically about every stroke I took, and he's like, why are you shouldn't know that. Like you should have your best races are ones that you get out and like you don't remember, or you just remember the feeling going through the water, rather than like, oh, I messed up this small little detail right here. He's like, no, you don't want to think. You want to shut that off. You can think as much as you want in practice, but when you get here, when it's time to go, you got to just turn that off and flow with it. But you mentioned the style for swimming. It's versus fencing, having different styles. You know, it's different stroke to stroke. So typically, freestyle, backstroke, and butterfly, you have similar styles. Obviously, you have people who are better underwater, better on top of the water for those strokes. But I swim breaststroke. So it's the one where you're out here, dolphin kick or breaststroke kick, call it frog
Whip
stroke.
Kick,
yeah, sometimes. But that you see a lot of variation from athletes. There's been a lot of time drop in the last couple of years because as people come up with new techniques and everything. So our coach always emphasizes you have to swim breaststroke the way you swim breaststroke. Like you can't look at this person next to you and copy what they're doing. Like that's not how you do it. So for me, I've been playing with that a lot this past year, especially. I had a groin injury, so I wasn't able to kick breaststroke for a little while. So I kicked dolphin kick. And so that flow, that momentum of the dolphin kick has kind of contributed, like led into me swimming better with breaststroke because I have more of a rhythm when I'm swimming breaststroke now. So now that I know that about myself, I have to apply it. And like you said, I can't be like as tense. Like I can't try to power my way through the water. Like I gotta like flow with the water. So that's really cool that you learned that about yourself. Yeah.
With what you just said about like you can't power through, like that's like definitely like can relate with that because it's like the overthinking, like what you were saying, where sometimes it's like you trying to like fit someone else's style. You just kind of got to do you.
Yeah.
And I definitely resonate with that. My coach back home is really big on that, where it's like when I was younger, I was like, yo, like which person should I try to like copy? Should I watch? And he's just like all these people are good and all. At the end of the day, it's what works for you.
Yeah.
And that's fair. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to find what works and stick to that. And like that, having that identity in your sport is very helpful and can help you succeed.
Definitely.
So before coming here, I really didn't know too much about fencing. There's a lot of sports here, like field hockey is another example of like, I didn't know anything about field hockey until coming here. And having these sports here has taught me a lot about, other sports, what it's like to compete in them. But for you fence epi style, which is different than saber and foil. So can you explain to me a little bit about the difference of those styles and kind of why you chose epi?
Yeah. So I'd say, there's like the three weapons.
Yeah.
I'd say when people like go into like fencing, they choose one and you kind of just stick to one. It's not really a common thing for people to like do both.
Okay.
Or at least like when they're young, maybe they do like foil and epee and then switch to one.
Okay.
So there's like three different like rules for them. So they're almost like a little bit like different games in a way. So like epee, for example, the target is the whole body. So I can hit someone on their foot. I could also hit them in their face. I can hit them on their back. I could hit them on their arm, like pretty much just anywhere. And there's like, you have to hit with the tip, like straight on, like this.
So you can't hit with the side at all?
No, well, you can. It just, no, you won't get a point. It would just kind of hurt them. You can like kind of flick the blade too to like try to like bend it. So like the tip, so maybe that's like, so a lot of people like are kind of flicky with their emotions. And it's you can get a double touch. I forgot what the timing is, but it's like pretty fast. It's like within a 0 point something.
Yeah, I think it's a couple hundredths. Yeah. So I saw that. Yeah,
it's like really, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then foil is they wear like a metallic vest, and that's like their target. So it's like waist and shoulders.
Okay.
You have to hit in that area. And there's also saber and foil have something called the right of way, which epee just doesn't have, but it's kind of makes things a little like more complex in my opinion. It took me a while to even understand it, but it's pretty much just like if you start the attack and both you guys hit, the person that started the attack gets the point.
Okay.
So if you start the attack, you have the right of way. You both hit. Since you have right of way, you get the touch. So
it's incentivizing then attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But then if you attack and your opponent blocks it, you lost the right of way. They gained it.
Oh, okay.
And then now they can hit you.
Now they can hit you.
Yes.
Even so if you touch at the same time, they'll get that point.
Because it's the blade contact, or like it's a parry, or like what the defense, I guess. And it's like pretty much the same for foil and saber. I'd say the difference is saber is the one that you can slash with.
Okay.
So you don't have to hit with the point like foil and epee. And that's waist above, so you can hit them on the head, arms, shoulders, chest.
So epee is the only one with full body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. How does that, like, that's got to play a big difference for you then, like how you're thinking strategy and all that and how you defend.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more like more full body.
Yeah.
But it definitely opens up the playing field where it's like people will play to your toe, make you like defend there, think about there, then go up.
Okay.
I guess like from a basic level, that's kind of what fencing is. I'm gonna pretend to hit you here and hit you there instead, or like I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna go, make you go, take the blade and like defend it and get you. But definitely like there's definitely strategy for both. Epee is definitely a slower pace compared to the other ones, so it's like you can feel your opponents out and you can kind of like be neck and neck, have the like kind of feel where they're like breaking and like push forward and like beat them. Usually people are taller in epee, stronger. My coach just put me in epee just because I'm not like too tall, but he said like my body type fit epee more, or whatever that meant. But usually people are like taller and lankier, so I take that like I guess it's just like other sports, you just like whatever your body type is, you make it work. So I'm not the tallest or the lankiest, so I'll like use my blade work and parries more and try to like defend myself and get them or be that counter offensive action. And yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, like what we talked about, you got to find what works for you, and knowing that you're not as tall as everybody else, you got to find your own style. So that's cool.
And my coach was always saying, my younger brother, or I have 3 brothers, but my middle youngest one, he's like lanky, he's a runner, like explosive. Like my coach is like, like he's the best one of all 4 of you guys. But yeah, it's just you just stick with it and you're gonna find your own style. And it's cool because my younger brother, we're like pretty similar build, and he's kind of like coming to his own style, and it's cool to see. It's definitely different than mine too, which I like. It's definitely more technical than me.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's cool to watch like a younger brother to play your own sport, because being the older brother, like knowing what you could have done differently being younger, you can help give him that advice, help him succeed.
Definitely. So, At the end of the day, I just want him to do well. Like him being better than me in the end game would be amazing. Like I'll be so happy if he was on the going to Olympics for the senior team, national team. I'd be so stoked for him. Like that's the goal. That's awesome. Not every brother is like, oh, I want him to be better than me. Yeah. So that's cool that you're that supportive of him. That's awesome. So yeah. But my last question that I always like to ask is, like being at this level, like it's a dream for a lot of younger athletes to come to UNC, compete at UNC. And obviously now, like you're starting your own company, you're an entrepreneur. Like it's really cool to see. And people have dreams and aspirations of stuff that you're already doing. So what kind of advice do you have for those people who have those dreams and those goals? I don't know if I can like, if I were to say one thing, it probably would just be like consistency over motivation. I feel like personally when I was in high school, I was like really big on like motivation. Like I needed to like, I'd watch some YouTube videos, like get that motivation, and like I would go on like 2 or 3, 4 weeks like benders, but just like training benders, I guess, and like running on the treadmill like after practice at night, like kind of doing like working when people weren't working. And like that was like a really big extra motivating factor for me. And I guess as like I got older in like school and all that, sometimes the motivation, it's like hard to like get that motivation to do stuff. And that's kind of when I realized that like consistency over the motivation is like better, especially for the long run. And having like the end goal picture in mind. And I guess I touched on it earlier, but like taking like that step, even if it's just one step towards that goal, is like, you're not going to get there in one day. It's like those days that you feel bad, you don't want to go to practice. If you go to practice, like I bet you're going to feel a lot better after than if you didn't. And like, it's a mental battle at the end of the day. And yeah, that's a big thing. At least that's something that I like battle with sometimes, where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to practice, but you just got to. Yeah, I've learned a lot more about the mental side now that I'm in college, because I did the same thing, the motivational, like the YouTube clips, and I would like crush it for a couple of weeks, and then I would struggle, and it was just this inconsistent balance of up and down. And it's like coming here has like really helped me like
dial it down and like realize like it's just day in, day out.
Mhm.
Like you have to stay consistent. That's what like our coaches preach, that with our performance in practice, you got to be consistent about what you're doing. So that's awesome. That's awesome that you're doing it with fencing and now with your own company. So that's great to see.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.